Autumn is finally here, so that means it's time to start crocheting your own cardigan for this new season. Looking for a cozy and stylish crochet cardigan, this pattern is for you. The most beautiful feature about this cardigan is the puff stitches that create beautiful flowers all along the cardigan. Another feature I love about this cardigan is the fitted sleeves, as they are super comfortable and easy to wear. And I don't want to forget to mention the buttons. Who doesn't love a cardigan without buttons, right? So I felt the need to incorporate them into this design. And as you can see, you can close only one button, as I'm doing it now, or you can close it entirely, or if you prefer, just leave it open. And before we go to the tutorial, I wanted to show you two different projects I've created using the same stitch pattern for this cardigan. And the first one is this crochet vest. This is completely made out of the same stitch pattern, and at the back is only a double crochet, so it's very flat. And then the second one is also a vest, but in this case I didn't do any shaping to the sleeves, so they're more like boxy sleeves, but still beautiful. And the back is the same, it's all flat. So I will be releasing the patterns for this vest soon, so stay tuned. This is going to be a step-by-step tutorial on how to crochet the blossom cardigan, but I also recommend going to my blog where you can read the free crochet pattern, and there you will find all the instructions for all the sizes. So there you can find how many chains and how many rows you need to work for each size, and also the materials. If you prefer the printable version, you can find one on my Ravelry shop or Etsy shop. I hope you like this design and have fun making it. Let me know in the comments if you're going to make it for yourself or for a friend, and what colors are you going to make it. I would love to know. So without further ado, let's go to the tutorial. Bye! This is the yarn I'm going to be using for this tutorial, and this is the Soft Twist, which is a DK yarn, and you can use any DK yarn you have at home. You will also need a 5mm crochet hook, scissors, and some stitch markers. We're going to start by making the left front panel, and for that you're going to make a slip knot. And for this tutorial I will be making size medium, but remember you can find the other sizes on my blog. So we're going to start by making 39 chains, which is for size medium. And once you completed your chain, we're going to start working on row number 1, and you're going to work 1 double crochet into the third chain from the hook. So you're going to yarn over and insert your hook, yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2 loops, yarn over again and pull through the 2 last loops. And that's the first double crochet completed. And then you're going to work 1 double crochet into each chain available until the end of the row. I'm going to go ahead and continue working 1 double crochet into each chain available, and I will meet you at the end. I'm now working on the last double crochet of the row, and by the end of the row you should have 37 double crochets for size medium. And then you're going to work 2 chains and turn your work, and we're going to start working on row number 2. So you're going to work 1 double crochet into the first double crochet, and then you're going to miss 2 chains, and you're going to work a puff stitch into the next double crochet, and you're going to yarn over and insert your hook and draw up a loop, and you're going to repeat this 3 times in total, and then you're going to yarn over and draw through all the loops on your hook and yarn over and close the puff stitch, and then you're going to work 1 chain, and then you're going to work another puff stitch into the same space. So you're going to yarn over and pull up 3 loops, and then yarn over and pull through all the loops in your hook, and then work another chain and work another puff stitch into the same space. And this will create the flower puff stitch that it looks so beautiful for this pattern. And there we have it. We have 3 puff stitches separated by 1 chain. Then you're going to miss 2 chains and work 1 double crochet into the next 5 double crochets. And now we have our first repeat completed, and this is the sequence you're going to repeat. So you're going to miss 2 double crochets and work 1 puff stitch into the next double crochet, and once you finish your first puff stitch, you're going to work 1 chain and work another puff stitch into the same space, work another chain and the last puff stitch into the same space in order to complete the flower puff stitch pattern. And now we've completed 2 repeats of the stitch pattern, and you're going to continue working this way until there are 6 stitches left on the row. So I'm going to go ahead and continue working on this repeat, and I will show you what to do at the end of the row. Now I only have 6 double crochet left on the row, so you're going to miss 2 double crochets and work 1 puff stitch into the next space, followed by 1 chain, work another puff stitch into the same space, and another chain, and work another puff stitch into the same space again. So remember, you have to work 3 puff stitches, and then you're going to miss 2 double crochets and work 1 double crochet into the last double crochet of the row. And this is our second row completed, and as you can see here we have our beautiful stitches. And now you're going to work 2 chains and turn your work. And we're going to start working on row number 3. And for that, you're going to work 1 double crochet into each stitch available. So you're going to work 1 double crochet into the first stitch, 1 double crochet into the puff stitch and into that chain. So here we go again, another puff stitch. So you work another double crochet, and when you get to the chain, you work another double crochet and a double crochet on top of the puff stitch. And this is how your work should be looking by now. So we have 6 double crochets in total, and then you're going to work 1 double crochet into each double crochet from the previous row. And I'm going to repeat this again slowly so you can see it. So you're going to work 1 double crochet on top of the puff stitch from the previous row, 1 double crochet into the chain space, another double crochet on top of the puff stitch, and 1 double crochet into that chain space, and another double crochet into on top of the puff stitch. And then you're going to work 1 double crochet into each double crochet until you get to the end, and you're going to work 1 double crochet into the last double crochet of the row. And this is our 3rd row completed. So you're going to work 2 chains and turn your work, and we're going to start working on row number 4. So you're going to work 1 double crochet into the next 6 double crochets of the row. So you should have 6 double crochet at the beginning of row number 4. And you're going to miss 2 double crochets and work the puff stitch repeat. So you're going to work 1 puff stitch into the next stitch, 1 chain, and another puff stitch into that same space, work another chain and another puff stitch. And this is our first repeat completed. Then you're going to miss 2 double crochets and work 1 double crochet into the next 5 double crochets, and you're going to repeat this sequence until there's only 1 double crochet left on the row. So I'm gonna go ahead and continue working on this stitch pattern until I get to the end. Now that I finished the repeat, there is only 1 double crochet left on the row, so you're going to work 1 double crochet into that last double crochet. And here you can see the stitch pattern taking form. So now you're going to work 2 chains and turn your work. And for row number 5, you're going to repeat row number 2. So you're going to work 1 double crochet into each stitch available until you get to the end of the row. And remember to work 1 double crochet on top of the puff stitch and 1 double crochet into the chain space as we did before. So I'm gonna go ahead and continue working double crochets until the end of the row. And now working the last double crochet of the row. And here we have 5 rows completed, and this is how your work should be looking by now. Then you're going to work 2 chains and turn your work. And now for rows 6 to 31, you're going to repeat rows number 2 to 5 until you have 31 rows in total for size medium. Now I finished all the rows for size medium, and this is how the panel should look like by now. Now from row 32 to 35, we're going to be shaping the front of our cardigan, and for that you're going to work 1 double crochet into the next 6 double crochets. And now we're going to continue with the same stitch pattern than before, so you're going to miss 2 double crochets and work a flower puff stitch into the next stitch as we did before. So you're going to work 1 puff stitch, 1 chain, 1 puff stitch, another chain and another puff stitch, all into the same stitch until you have 3 puff stitches. And then you're going to miss 2 double crochets and work 1 double crochet into the next 5 double crochets, and you're going to repeat all this one more time. And then you're going to leave the rest of the stitches unworked, as you can see here, and you're going to repeat the same stitch pattern until you have 35 rows. So now you're going to work 2 chains and turn your work, and this is going to be row number 33, and you're going to work 1 double crochet into each stitch available until the end of the row. And then for row number 34, you're going to repeat row number 2 from the stitch pattern, and for row number 35 you're also going to work 1 double crochet into each stitch available, and when you are finished you're going to leave approximately 30 centimeters of yarn so you can sew the front panel to the back panel when your work is finished. Now we're going to work on the right front panel of your cardigan, and when you finish the last row you're going to cut the yarn. So in my case, this is the end of row 31. I'm going to cut the yarn. And then with the right side of your work facing you and starting on the right side of the panel, you're going to count 10 stitches and you're going to attach the yarn on the 11th double crochet and you're going to work 2 chains. And then you're going to work 1 double crochet into the next 6 double crochets from the row. And after you have 6 double crochets, you're going to continue working on the same stitch pattern we were working before. So you're going to miss 2 double crochets. And you're going to work a flower puff stitch into the next double crochet. So you're going to work 1 puff stitch, 1 chain, followed by another puff stitch and another chain and another puff stitch until you have 3 puff stitches in total, and then you're going to miss 2 double crochets and work 1 double crochet into the next 5 double crochets, And you're going to repeat this sequence one more time until you have one double crochet left on the row. And you're going to work one double crochet into the last double crochet. So you should have 6 double crochets at the beginning of the row and 6 double crochets at the end of the row. And you're going to work row number 33 to 35, following the same repeats than before. So for row 33, you're going to work one double crochet in each stitch across. And for row number 34, you're going to repeat row number 2 from the pattern, and then row number 35, you're going to work one double crochet across the row. And then you're going to cut the yarn, leaving approximately 30 centimeters to sew the front panel to the back, and then you are done. Now for working the back panel, you're going to chain 99, and this is for size medium, and you're just going to repeat rows number 1 to 5 from the front panel until you have the necessary amount of rows for your size. In my case, it's going to be 35 rows in total, and when you have the 35 rows that you need for size medium, you're just going to cut the yarn and the back panel will be ready. It's finally time to start sewing the pieces together, and for that you're going to place both front panels on top of the back panel with the right size touching, and using a yarn needle and the same color of yarn, you're going to whip stitch along the shoulder seams, and you're going to repeat the same on both panels. And this is my preferred method for joining pieces together, but you can also use any other method you like. And with the tapestry needle, I'm going to go through both stitches, both loops of the stitches, to make sure I'm attaching them together, and I'm going to go back and forth until the front panel is attached to the back panel of the cardigan. So I'm gonna go ahead and continue sewing the pieces together, and I will show you how it looks at the end. Now the front panel is attached to the back of the cardigan, and you will have to repeat this 2 times to complete the other side as well. But this is how it's going to look like on the inside of the cardigan. So now I have the 2 front panels joined to the back of the cardigan, and let's see the first time trying it on. And this is how it's going to look so far. Then we need to sew the sides and work on the sleeves, and then we're going to do the final touches of the cardigan. Now I'm going to show you how to make the sleeves. These are worked from the bottom up, so you're going to start working on the cuff, and then you're going to increase at the beginning and the end of each row until you have the necessary amount of stitches to cover the upper arm. And here you can see how the sleeve increases on both sides until we get to the necessary amount of centimeters for each size. I'm going to show you here how to work size medium, and because we already know the stitch pattern, I'm going to go a bit faster than usual, so make sure you follow along with the written pattern on my blog. So for size medium, we're going to chain 39, and then you're going to repeat row 1 and 2 from the front panels. You're going to work 3 chains and turn your work, and row number 3 is going to be an increased row, so you're going to work 1 double crochet into the same space where the initial 3 chain begins, and the 3 chains that you work at the beginning is going to count as the first double crochet of the row. And then you're going to go ahead and work 1 double crochet into each stitch available until you have 1 stitch left. And now we are in the last double crochet, and there you're going to work 2 double crochets into the same space to have another increase. So you will have 2 double crochets at the beginning of the row and 2 double crochets at the end of the row. Then you're going to work 2 chains and turn, and this is going to be row number 4. And for that, you're going to work 1 double crochet into the next 7 double crochets of the row. And after that, you're going to continue with the stitch pattern until the last 2 double crochets of the row. And now you have 2 double crochet left, and you're going to work 1 double crochet into the last 2 double crochets of the row. So you should have 7 double crochets at the beginning and 7 double crochets at the end of the row, as you can see here. And this is the row completed. And now you're going to work 3 chains and turn. And row number 5 is also going to be an increased row. And for that, you're going to work 1 double crochet into the same space and work 1 double crochet into each stitch available until the end, where you're going to work 2 double crochets into the same space to have another increase. You're going to work 2 chains and turn your work, and for row number 6, you're going to work 1 double crochet into the next 3 double crochets. And then you're just going to go ahead and work the same stitch pattern until there are 3 double crochets left on the row. Don't forget to miss 2 double crochets after each puff stitch, and then you're going to work 1 double crochet into the last 3 double crochets of the row. And don't forget to work 1 double crochet also on that 3 chains from the beginning of the previous row, and then you should have 3 double crochets at the beginning and 3 double crochets at the end. And here you can see how the sleeve started to increase on both sides. Now you're going to work 3 chains and turn, and this is going to be another increase. So for the increase, it's always going to be the same. You're going to work 1 double crochet at the beginning of the row. So you have the 3 chains and the double crochet, and then 2 double crochets at the end of the row. So you always should have 2 double crochets at the beginning and 2 double crochets at the end. Then you're going to work 2 chains and turn your work. And here you can see I have the 2 double crochets at the beginning and at the end. And then for row number 8, you are going to work 1 double crochet into the next 9 double crochets. And after you complete the 9 double crochets, you're just going to continue with the same stitch pattern than before until you have 4 stitches left on the row. And now you're going to work 1 double crochet into the last 4 double crochets of the row. And don't forget to work 1 double crochet into that 3 chain space. And you should have 9 double crochets at the beginning and 9 double crochets at the end of the row. And you're going to work 3 chains and turn your work and work another increase row. So here row number 9 is completed, and you should have 2 double crochets at the beginning and 2 double crochets at the end of the row. And now you're going to work 2 chains and turn. And for row number 10, you're going to work 1 double crochet into the next 5 double crochets. And then continue working on the same stitch pattern until the end of the row. So here row number 10 is completed, and you should have 5 double crochets at the beginning and 5 double crochets at the end. Then you're going to work 3 chains and turn your work and work another increase row. And this is going to be row 11. And now this is the way you're going to continue working until you have 28 rows. So you're going to repeat rows number 2 to 8. And you're going to have 63 double crochets at the end of row 28. So you're going to continue working on these rows, repeating rows number 2 to 8 until you have 28 rows in total. Now for row 29, you're just going to work 1 double crochet into each double crochet available. Then for row number 30, you're going to work 2 chains and turn your work. And you're going to work 1 double crochet into the next 4 double crochets. And then continue working on the same stitch pattern until you have 9 double crochet left. And then after you finish row number 30, you're going to work row number 31 and work 1 double crochet into each double crochet available. And this is how the sleeve is going to look like at the end of row 31. So you're going to fold your first sleeve in half so the long edges meet, and locate the center point at the top edge. And you're going to line this up with the shoulder seam of the body so the right sides are together. So this is how you're going to arrange your work in order to start sewing the sleeves to the body of the cardigan. Now you're going to locate the shoulder seam so you can pair it with the center of the sleeves, and you're going to use a stitch marker in order to join them together. So then it will be easier for you to sew the pieces together. And at this point, you can use even more stitch markers to make sure the pieces are not going to move while you are sewing them. And you can make sure the sewing process is going to be easy and smooth. And now, with the help of a tapestry needle, you're going to start sewing the pieces together as we did before with the shoulder seams. And you're going to go through both stitches of the sleeves and the body back and forth, making sure you are attaching them together until your sleeve is completely joined to the body. So I'm going to go ahead and continue using this sewing method, and I will show you how it looks at the end. And once you join the sleeves to the body, you can go ahead and hide those ends, and you're going to go through the stitches at least 3 times in order to make sure your work is not going to unravel, as I'm doing it now. So now this is how your cardigan is going to look like. And now I'm going to show you how to work the neckline. And for that, you're going to use a 4mm crochet hook. And you're going to use the same yarn that we used before. And with the right side of the cardigan facing you, you're going to attach the yarn to the top corner space of the right side panel. I like making a knot to make sure the yarn is not going to unravel. And then you're going to work 7 chains in total. Once you have the 7 chains, you're going to work 1 single crochet into the second chain from the hook, and then you're going to work 1 single crochet into each chain available until you get to the end. And now you should have 6 single crochets in total, and you're going to work 1 slip stitch into that same space where the initial chains begin, and 1 single crochet into the next available space. Then you're going to turn your work, and you're going to miss those 2 slip stitches we just worked. And now you're going to work on the back loop of the stitch only, and you're going to work 1 single crochet into each single crochet from the previous row, going through the back loop only, and this will create a nice ribbon effect. that you can see on the cardigan. And I always like going through both loops of the stitch when I get to the last stitch of the row, just to create a nicer finish. And now you're going to work one chain and turn your work, and you're going to work one single crochet through the back loop only until you get to the end of the row. And once you completed the 6 single crochets, you're going to work a slip stitch into the next 2 available spaces from the neckline, and then you're going to turn your work, miss those first 2 slip stitches we just worked, and continue working one single crochet in the back loop only until the end of the row. And this is the way you're going to continue working across the neckline. You're going to repeat rows number 2 and 3 until the entire neckline is covered. And here I have the neckline completed, and as you can see, it's a really nice effect. And then for the bottom ribbon, you're going to use a 5mm crochet hook, and you're going to work 11 chains and repeat the same steps than for the neckline. And then after that is completed, you're going to do the right side edging, and for that you're going to work 10 chains, and you're also going to use a 5mm crochet hook. But remember, you can find these instructions on my blog, so you can follow along. Now you're going to choose your favorite buttons. These are the ones that I'm going to use, and these will be placed on the right side of the ribbon. And you're going to place one button at the very top of the cardigan and another one at the very bottom. And then you're going to use a measuring tape and measure approximately 12 centimeters between each button. But this is completely up to you, as you can leave more space between them, or you can have them closer together. And once you found the perfect place for your buttons, you're going to temporarily attach them to your cardigan using a stitch marker, or you can go ahead and sew them to your cardigan. But in this case, I'm going to use a stitch marker, and I'm just going to place them to make sure they don't move while I'm creating the buttonholes. So now with the right side of your cardigan facing you, you're going to attach the yarn to the top of the neckline on the left front panel. And you're going to work 10 chains in total. And then you're going to repeat the same steps you work for the neckline ribbon, but in this case you will have 9 single crochets in total. And then in order to set up your work, you're going to repeat 2 rows of the ribbon to make sure the buttonhole is at the top of your cardigan. So this is the first row completed, and now you're going to turn your work and work on the second row of the ribbon. So you're going to miss the first 2 slip stitches and work 1 single crochet in the back loop only until you get to the end of the row. And once you've completed the second row, you're going to make sure these first 2 rows align to your work on the opposite side of the cardigan, as you can see here. So this is working okay. And now for the third row, you're going to create the buttonholes. So you're going to work one single crochet in the back loop only in the first 4 stitches. So here you should have 4 single crochets at the beginning of the row. And then you're going to work 3 chains, miss 1 single crochet and work 1 single crochet into the next 4 stitches. And at this point you're going to make sure the 3 chains are big enough for the button to go through it. And if you need to make more, just go ahead and make more, or if you need to make less, just go ahead and work less chains for your buttons. And once row number 3 is completed, you're going to continue working with the ribbon and evenly spacing the next 3 buttonholes as you continue working. And the placement of your buttonholes should align with the buttons on the opposite side, but you're going to work them on the exact same we did before, just working the 3 chains and making sure they go through the buttons okay. And here I wanted to show you that once you work on the next row after the chain space, you're going to work 1 single crochet into that chain space. So you should always have 9 double crochets in total. So you shouldn't work extra single crochets. So otherwise you're going to have extra stitches at the end of your row. So you only work 1 single crochet into that 3 chain space. And now this is the way you're going to continue working on the ribbon. And once all the buttonholes are placed and the ribbon is complete, you're going to fasten off and weave in any ends that you might have. And now I wanted to show you one more time how to work the buttonholes. And now it's time to work one. So you're going to work 1 single crochet into the next 4 single crochets of the row. And remember, you need to be working on the back loop only. So here I have the 4 single crochets, and then you're going to work 3 chains and miss 1 stitch and work 1 single crochet into the next 4 stitches. So those 3 chains are going to create the holes to place the buttons. And now you're going to work a slip stitch into the next 2 available spaces and turn your work, and you're going to miss the 2 slip stitches and work 1 single crochet in the back loop only into the next 4 single crochets. And when you get to the chain space, you're going to place 1 single crochet only and continue working 1 single crochet into the next 4 single crochets of the row and chain 1 and turn your work. And as you can see, this is the way you're going to continue working across the cardigan until your work is completed. Now this is the end of the tutorial, and this is the finished cardigan. I hope you enjoy making this with me, and thank you so much for watching. See you in the next one. Bye!